When Jesus comes down, I wanna see his race. I'm not a racist, I'm just amazed on everything that took place in ancient times. I love to catch up with him, keep talking, keep walking, non-stopping, door to door, keep knocking. My nigga Rick Tunes, me too, Judge Africa. And while I move on, I'll be reached too. In my soul, see why we been through the metropolis. It's our dream, nobody stopping us. So I'm my own crib, my own sheet. One last beat, last drop until you ain't gon' win. This is the last drop, the last stop.
Welcome to another episode of Power Table.
Yeah.
It's me, myself, Benjamin.
And AZ. And
What up?
Today's topic is discipline.
Discipline.
Discipline sounds so stern. I want to discipline you. But why is discipline important is really the title of today's topic. And I think it's an important one because ultimately, if you are not disciplined, you don't get very far in life.
That is true. And to be honest, being disciplined is not such an easy thing to do.
No, think about it when you have to get up at 4 o'clock every day to go to the gym.
For sure,
you know, so you set yourself a goal, and I mean, Ben, in your upcoming book, you talk about goal setting and the importance of having SMART goals, etc., IMES goals. The reality is you set yourself a goal, but to achieve that needs a certain amount of discipline. So if you say, I want to get fitter, you know, having the discipline to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, whether it's raining, whether it's snowing, whether the sun is shining, it takes
whether
discipline.
everyone is not going to the gym, but you have to go to the gym.
Absolutely.
It takes
Everybody's
discipline.
sleeping, you know, your husband next door to you is sleeping, and you've got to get up and you've got to get dressed and you've got to show up.
It's not easy. It's not easy because you're always going to be motivated. And I like the topic that you brought up in terms of the gym because, I mean, it's painful, man. You know what I mean? The gym is not a friendly user place. Because the following day, you know, your body's aching from all that pain. You know, sometimes you lose the motivation, even though you have that picture like I want to look like that, but you know.
And I think where motivation fails, and most of us are not going to be 100% motivated all the time. It's impossible. I think you've got to be Superman to be motivated 100% of the time. But where motivation fails, so where that will to sort of drive and that drive to sort of do the next thing fails you, discipline kicks in.
Because I like that because discipline is more like consistency.
That's right. Discipline for me is setting yourself a structure. It's having that stability. It's having that consistency. Because to achieve results, ultimately, you need consistent. It's about consistency.
Keep reinforcing the same effort. You know what I mean? It's either the same or you do better than yesterday. You know what I mean?
And disciplined people are people who take responsibility. You know, they take responsibility for the outcomes of whatever action they're trying to do. So if you think about, let's use the weight loss thing again, or getting fit, you take responsibility for your life, you know. I find that disciplined people exert amount of respect as well, you know, in whatever they're doing. If you're a disciplined reader, or if you're a disciplined bodybuilder, or if you're a disciplined boyfriend, you know, you take responsibility. If you're a disciplined boyfriend, you're not the kind of person who's not going to phone for 5 days. There is no discipline in that.
True.
You know?
And most relationships fail because of that. There's no discipline in that.
But that's it. It's not just about communication and that sort of thing, but discipline is also important within relationships with people. You know, I'm very disciplined. I make sure that I speak to my grandmother at least once a day. That's how I keep that relationship going. I am respectful of that relationship and I take responsibility for that. So even if she hasn't phoned me on a particular day, my grand phones me every day, so you know that doesn't happen. I take responsibility because there's an amount of discipline in that. And I mean, it's a very nuanced sort of relational example, but ultimately for me, discipline is the only thing that leads to success, that consistency. You know, think about the times where you haven't phoned someone because you haven't been consistent, and how much conflict that causes.
And that's what makes other people fail in their careers, because as an employee, like for me, I'm a salesperson, right? If I don't keep calling people, right, at some point, my performance will drop.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter if I'm calling people every day, but no one is buying my product, right? The important thing is the activity. There's always activity. You know what I mean? I'm always finding new people. I'm always making calls because those people that I pitched to, at some point they will change their mind.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because when someone says no, you should learn this. When someone says no, it's a temporary decision. Their minds can be changed. You know what I mean? If you are consistent.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely.
Yes. I know this other guy, it took him a year just to get this woman.
I love that. I think another characteristic of a disciplined person is that they show self-restraint.
Yeah.
Disciplined people don't speak out of turn.
Yeah.
You know, they don't just run their mouth. They're not the kind of person who you're just going to be finding, you know, doing dodgy stuff on the street. They practice self-restraint or self-control. I think that's very important. They're the kind of person who, in a club, who says, I'm only going to spend 5,000 Rand tonight, and they don't go out of budget. You know, that is discipline.
It's discipline. Yeah.
That's it.
You stick to your word. I think when you're disciplined, you are a man of your words.
Yeah.
So let's talk about workplace. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How does, let's say I'm your manager, if I'm not disciplined, obviously that will affect you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think both the manager and the employee have to be disciplined. All right, and it goes back to what we spoke about on our previous episode, communication. You know, if there's no proper communication between an employee and employer, then it's a problem, because employees leave not because of the company, but because of the boss. There's terrible bosses out there.
Yeah,
Bad communication.
They are, and also ill-disciplined. So if I'm not disciplined enough with my employees to make sure that I'm catching up, that I'm following up, and my employees are not disciplined to be coming to me and saying I need help and have that discipline in their repertoire, then that's problematic, and that's where relationships start to break down. So you need discipline in the workplace, absolutely. You know, especially in the type of work that you and I do, you know, respectively, is discipline is something that's very important. Making sure that you're keeping records of the meetings that you're having, making sure that you're doing the number of calls and the number of sort of sales interventions on a daily basis or a monthly basis or whatever your measurement period is, to ultimately derive, in my mind, success. So for me, probably the path to success is paved with discipline.
Because if you're an employee, if you do your job, you get things done, right? You make it easier for the employer. For the employer, or your boss, you know what I mean? So then between you won't have any problems. You know, when you discipline, you stay active, you get things done, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a movement. I think there's movement when you discipline.
It is, absolutely.
But
and
now, since we say it's difficult to be disciplined, how do you become disciplined?
Yeah. Practice. I think with all things, it's about continuous application of that thing. So practice. You know, if I think about martial arts, and I have a black belt in karate here, and you know, ultimately it's about waking up and practicing. I don't know how many times I've done kata one and shodan, for example, and you do it over and over and over again till it becomes second nature. You know, now if somebody says do han shodan, I know straight away that I'm going into, you know, first move.
So practice until it's second nature.
Practice until it's second nature. That's the only way that you build discipline, is that consistency thing. So making sure that on a daily basis you are repeating those factors that are ultimately going to get you to your success, whatever that success may be, whether it's, you know, to achieve a certain amount in your bank account, or to achieve a certain relationship, or just to have a happy family life, you know, etc., etc. There's so many definitions of success, but the discipline, so that sort of dogged approach to a particular endeavor, for me, is what discipline is defined as.
I'd like to add something on that, or on my previous book, Occupational Bias and Sales. There's a topic where I mentioned about breaking barriers.
That's right.
So with discipline, I think for you to be disciplined, you're going to face difficulties, but once you break that barrier, after that it's going to be easy. As you said, it's going to be your second nature.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be easy, it's going to be normal to you. But before that, you're going to have to learn a skill, because endurance, I think, is a skill. I don't think everyone is endurance.
Absolutely. Think about it in the simplest form, running on a treadmill. The first day that you run, you are exhausted, right? The second day you run, the second day you run, you're exhausted, but slightly better. Let me tell you, by day 25, if you've been running every day, disciplined, running every day, you've built that endurance, you've kept that consistency, and suddenly you're running 5-6 Ks, you know,
in less time.
In less time.
Yeah, you've broken the barrier.
That's it. You break that barrier, but you're stronger.
Even your heart, I don't think this the same way.
No, exactly,
Your
'cause
heart
it's
rate
stronger.
is now stable.
Exactly, because it's
Yeah,
stronger.
for
So
sure.
you build endurance, you build that sort of stability through discipline. And if you can apply that sort of discipline to all areas of your life, there's no reason that you shouldn't be as successful in your